Well, gee, I did not expect my intro to end so quick. Well, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the My Crypto Journey live stream here for Coffee and Crypto. And oh my goodness, the market is ripping. Jerome Powell, not yet, but it's going to turn the money printers back on. Obviously, two big key events that were supposed to happen this week. Of course, the Fed minutes that came out Wednesday, which didn't leave us with much. But obviously, how was Jerome Powell going to sound today at Jackson Hole? And it sounds like he's dovish, which means we could be getting rate cuts, which the probability has skyrocketed back it up. First, we backed up. First, we started at 99%, then we went down to 85, then 70. Now it's back up around 85% or so. And it'll probably go up even more. So we're probably going to get rate cuts. How big? I don't know, but at least 25 basis points. Now, obviously, the market has been absolutely ripping. But real quick, if you're following me on YouTube, watching me on YouTube, make sure to like the video, repost the stream. And if you're watching over on X, make sure to like, give your boy a follow, and repost. What's up, babies? Welcome to the stream. How we doing? How we doing? I saw some of the A team in here. Let me put the crypto bubbles up while I'm going over the chat, greeting everybody. And then we'll get into some TA because we're doing some TA now. And it's real simple stuff. You know, I feel like this journey of learning like technical analysis, everyone has their own style and the journey really never ends, right? What's up, Armand? First in the chat. Where's Javi at? Javi is missing. What's up, Mariah? Good morning. How we doing? Jay Hawk. Kenchania Humor. Greeting. Take me to your leader. Welcome, welcome. Crypto Snack. How we doing? I see some new faces. Tracy G. Good morning. Sacco Hunt. Good morning. Good morning. Kayla. Shaman says, say, I'm here for the AI girlfriend giveaway. No AI girlfriend giveaways just yet. But when we get one, we'll be giving them away. What else do we have? Who else do we have? We have Bud in the chat. Bud, how we doing? We have Kryptonic from over on X with the Desu fam in here. I'm doing fantastic. How you doing? How we doing? Who else do we have? Crypto Flare. How we doing, baby? How's your day going, legend? Happy to be here once again. Day is going fantastic. Salmon, good morning. Good morning. Jericho says, believe in something. I believe it. I believe it. You know, shout out to, I think you're talking about some ETH, but obviously that slogan is for, SPX. Javi is always first watching. Share my #1 spot. Let's go, Javi. There it is, Javi. I already know Javi. I know Javi's here. Javi's OG. You know, a lot of people in here, OGs. Now, guys, obviously, this is the crypto bubbles on the hour chart. So market's pumping, right? Everything's pumping except for OKX token right now. And this is, of course, market cap size, right? All these are big market cap cryptos, right? Top altcoins, ones you want to play in right now. And of course, OKX isn't doing so hot today, but that's because OKX has had a stellar week and a stellar month. Like OKX has been doing fantastic. All right, let's do some technical analysis, right? Okay, so big day today, right? Because I think technical analysis and news go hand in hand. And we're not going to be putting up any, we're going to be talking about some numbers here. I'm not going to be putting up any fancy lines or anything like that because it's obvious that the market is trending upwards, right? So we had some important price points that we could not break below if we wanted to continue this uptrend, right? So I do want to start off by saying that historically, September is a pretty bearish month for September. These are the monthly average performance for monthly performances for Bitcoin. Obviously, you know, October, we start to skyrocket. That's what we call Pumptober. November, obviously, that's when we hit our all-time highs back in 2021, right? During the last cycle. So September could be a little slow. And we may already have Bitcoin's price priced in for the month. We'll see, right? Because we're expecting rate cuts. You know, are we going to pump when we get closer to the rate cuts? Or is the price already going to be priced in by the time we get there, right? We have some prices to look forward to, right? But it's going to be interesting to see. But just keep in mind, keep your expectations kind of chill for September because we could have a lot of sideways actions, which is okay. Because I think that when the market trades sideways, it gives the average Joe, you know, the ability to slowly buy into the market when they get their 2-week paycheck or monthly, whatever it is you got going for you, right? So sideways action isn't always a bad thing, right? It sucks when you don't have any money to put into the market and everything is sending. Like that's the worst feeling. What's up, Leak? Good morning. Dr. MW Kitchen, good morning. How we doing? How we doing? All right. So obviously, you know, we're in an uptrend, right? I don't need to be an expert to tell you that the market is trending upwards and has been for a while now, right? So we had a price point of about $111,000, $112,000 that we could not break below before we broke out of that uptrend. We tested it back over on August 2nd, August 3rd, which was my birthday, and we bounced off it, right? And we tested that over the last couple of days. So it looked like maybe we were starting to trend downwards. But obviously with the news today, because technical analysis and the news just kind of go hand in hand. The market's recovering, right? And the big deal was what's going to happen with interest rate cuts. And it seems like, and I'll get into the news here in a second, we'll play some videos and stuff like that, but it seems like Jerome Powell is weighing the risk because we had a bad jobs report, but we had PPI data. And he thinks that probably the jobs situation could be worse, right? Because the whole thing with Jerome Powell, wanting and not wanting to, not wanting to lower interest rates was because of, quote unquote inflation data. He thinks that, we're going to get some sort of inflation from tariffs. Not inflation data, but tariff inflation, right? He thinks that inflations are going to affect the economy in a bad way when it comes to inflation. So as you can see, 111, high 111, low 112 is a price that we don't want to break below, right? And we're not, right? So obviously that's been our previous resistance over, between May and July, and we broke out in July, but about around $111,000, $112,000, right? Previous resistance becomes new support. And as you can see, we dropped down to that, previous resistance, which is our new support, and we're staying above it, which is good, right? So now something to look out for is when we pump back up, because we have two, kind of, right? They're close, right? We have two instances where we got to around 123 to 125, $124,000 Bitcoin. So where are we going to move when we get back up to $125,000? Now the crypto space is so volatile. I wouldn't be surprised if we got up to $125,000 again and moved down, because again, historically, September has been pretty bearish for crypto. But then obviously we have Pumptober and November and, and December and those sorts of things, right? Sizzle Hop, thank you so much for posting the stream. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, smash the like button, subscribe if you are new. Appreciate it. Leek, good morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's good to have you in the chat, Alex. Shout out to the Man U fam. So it's important to pay lots of attention. And this is the daily chart, right? I'm going to be looking at, maybe we can go over, because I'm learning many different types of technical analysis and trading and those sorts of things. I'll start doing live trading here on the stream, and it won't be really live trading, but because I'm going to be focusing on like kind of swing trading and like not scalping and doing like trading by the hour and minutes and stuff like that. I want to think of I want to do more of a long-term strategy. But huge month for crypto, right? Huge month ahead. But I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it may happen if we go up and retest this previous resistance of about $123,000, $124,000 before we come back down again, because I'm not sure that September is going to be extremely bullish for Bitcoin based on previous data. Now, who knows? Maybe things could change. Remember, this is kind of a weird cycle, right? Why is it weird? If you would have told me last year this time that we have a government and a president who's all in on crypto, and I mean all in on crypto, I would have said you were crazy. It's like it's a far cry from where we were back in 2021. So things are different, right? It's hard for me to believe that we're going to ever have a crazy crypto winter again. I think we're going to have a bear market, obviously, but I'm talking about $69,000 at the all-time high in 2021, down to $16,000 back in 2022. Now, obviously, that was because that was due to a bunch of different things, right? FTX, Terra Luna, like all those implosions we had in the crypto space. But it's going to be, to me, it'd be crazy to see Bitcoin hit those numbers again. And if we go down further, right, past $111,000, $112,000, below that we have right around in this area, right around $100,000 Bitcoin. So if we break below, maybe for an extended period of time, maybe a couple of days, right, because we just can't base all the evidence on just one day, right? We can be expecting maybe a $98,000 Bitcoin to $100,000 Bitcoin. Right? Because those are our last previous resistance and support lines. Yeah. And what's interesting? I've been doing a lot of research on day trade. Everybody has their own techniques, and a lot of them are successful. Like there's some people that just use trend lines, which seems like to be the basic kind of trading. What's her name? Tori Trades, like a big YouTuber. She's a really hot chick, so that helps too. But it seems like she just uses trend lines and is very successful. Right. But like the overarching theme of everything, we can look for different prices for Bitcoin to drop. We'll see, right? It's an interesting time. It's an interesting cycle, but historically, September has been pretty slow for crypto. Johnny, thank you so much for posting the stream. I appreciate it. Peace. What's up? How we doing? GM. Crypto Flare says we up. All right, so let's get into the rest of the crypto market. Let's go over some price. So obviously everything's pumping except for OKX token, but OKX had a phenomenal and a stellar last month. It's been up it's like up hundreds and percents. So the overall cryptocurrency market is up, excuse me, 3.6%. We're edging towards a $4 trillion market cap size again. Bitcoin sitting at $116,000, Ethereum sitting at $4,600. Now for Ethereum, I guess we can look at Ethereum's chart real quick, and then we're not going to try to chart anything else. But I think the same kind of, obviously the same principles apply. But we really, I think I was kind of messing around on stream with this one. Let me delete these. So obviously we don't have a lot of data for Ethereum because we just got close to an all-time high. I think our all-time high is like 48.9 or so, like close, pretty much 4,900. We got up and we kind of figured that once Ethereum edged towards its all-time high, like it would try to maintain, it would get rejected, right? And so the next thing we're looking to see for Ethereum is that if it could break above its all-time high and form some sort of support there. Right, so we don't have a lot of data for Ethereum, but we could say that right around $4,000 is obviously $4,000 has been like a meme with Ethereum because it couldn't break above that, right? But now we're looking for that to be our new support. So I think that Ethereum could stay above $4,200 if the market pretty much. I can't imagine Ethereum going under $4,000 for a while now. It just doesn't seem like that's gonna happen, right? Because we have so much resistance and now support there. So it'll be interesting to see. But you know, obviously, when it comes to Ethereum, Ethereum is the leader of the altcoins, right? It seems like when Ethereum pumps, we can get a true altcoin cycle because obviously all the focus has been on Bitcoin lately, institutions and those sorts of things. But the rest of the market has been kind of like doing nothing. Now, there's been some all-time highs. BNB's been killing it. XRP, I think, recently hit an all-time high. Solana hit an all-time high back in like, you know, January, February, around that time frame. But we want the rest of the altcoin market to run because that's what's really going to bring retail in and those sorts of things. Like when I start seeing people posting and shilling XRP and all these different top altcoins, that's when you know retail's in. When you have people texting you that haven't texted you forever, asking about what kind of cryptos do I buy, you know, that's what that's when you know retail's coming in. And really, the crypto space is putting itself in a good position, right? Because Coinbase is so much better now, and I think that Coinbase is going to be like the #1 exchange, especially for Americans, especially on the decentralized side, right? Coinbase is, first of all, listing a ton of cryptos they wouldn't during the last cycle because this administration is much looser when it comes to regulation. And they're adding like a decentralized exchange within the app, which is going to be insane. And I think it's going to be absolutely insane. So for retail, it's going to be much easier for them to get into crypto and then maybe explore DeFi a little more, like true DeFi. And then you could say it's not DeFi because it's on a centralized exchange, but it's cool that you're going to be able to at least trade base tokens for now. I'm sure they'll add more within the Coinbase centralized exchange, right? So Bitcoin, the prices we're looking for to stay above is $112,000, right? If we could stay above this, maybe you know, retest $123,000, $124,000 and kind of just bounce in between here until we get those rate cuts or till October. I mean, that'll be extremely bullish, right? But I would be expecting it to at least maybe try to retest, maybe leading up to the interest rates numbers, the interest rate cuts are released, because we're going to get some, I think so for sure. Then that'd be great for us, right? But if we break below this, then we could maybe worry about it hitting its next support level, which would be around $100,000. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. All right, so this is the what Jerome Powell said.
In the near term,
you guys are caught up to speed with what he's doing.
In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. Our policy rate is now 100 basis points closer to neutral than it was a year ago, and the stability of the unemployment rate and other labor market measures allows us to proceed carefully as we consider changes to our policy stance. Nonetheless, with policy in restrictive territory, the baseline outlook and the shifting balance of risks may warrant adjusting our policy stance.
And pretty much that's what sent the market to the stratosphere, right? That's what sent the market, right when he said those words, right? That's what sent the market pumping, which we were all waiting for that, right? So here's some of the key takeaways. Risks now tilt towards jobs, not just inflation. So obviously we have two different problems, jobs and inflation, right? We got the PPI data. It was bad, way worse than we expected, but the jobs number was pretty bad too, right? So obviously we fixed that by cutting interest rates, right? Labor supply is weakening with demand. Fed scraps flexible average inflation targeting. Stable inflation expectations no longer assumed. Signals possible rate cut in September. So I think we're going to have a rate cut in September. I think it might be safe to say, right? Because the big thing that really shot those odds down, right? So check this out. September rate cut odds spiked from 74% to 90% during Powell's speech. What brought these odds down was the PPI data, right? Because once we got the jobs number, I mean, it shot up to like 90+%, like 98% at some point. So good news for us in the crypto space, right? So obviously, Trump was doing a speech back to back. He's doing one right now, I believe. And in my opinion, it was kind of like he's talking about, firing Fed Governor Cook, right? If she doesn't resign for like some mortgage fraud or some shit like that. I'm not sure the exact details, but big purge going on right now, right? But I think that maybe Trump doing the back-to-back thing, maybe swayed Powell to sound a little more dovish. Now, I don't know if Trump is influencing Powell, but he could be, because obviously Trump has been calling out Powell publicly for a long time, right? He's been telling him to cut interest rates and saying it's political and those sorts of things, So we'll see. But very, very interesting, right? So like I said before, back-to-back Powell and Trump talk. So Fed Chair Powell will deliver his remarks at Jackson Hole at the Economic Symposium at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? Like what I said. And then, and just 2 hours later, so after the stream, President Trump is set for a major Oval Office announcement, right? So big day for the markets. And really, Trump could say something else that could send the markets pumping. Like when we got the information that, we're going to be allowing people to invest into crypto or at least Bitcoin or some sort of crypto with their 401k, I mean, the market pumped like crazy. Right? We had a nice little pump from that. So news is important too. Technical analysis is good, but it's good to have both. Especially for short-term pumps. Like if you're on the news all day, like if you were watching Jerome Powell at Jackson Hole, and as soon as he said, changes to their monetary policy, buy, boom, right there, right? And you probably would have made a quick, a few dollars instead of watching the chart move, So that's why it's important to be tapped in with the news too. So make sure you subscribe because I give you the news every morning. Drop a subscription. I'll give you the news every single morning. I'll let you know what's going on. I'll let you know what's going on with the economic stuff, crypto stuff, and of course, like other stuff that's not really mainstream, like Kanye West launching his token, making $24 million and rugging the entire community. Right. So let me read some of these comments and then we'll get into some, I guess, crypto pop culture a little bit. If you guys have any comments, let me know, or any comments or questions, let me know. Kayla says, when BlackRock, Fidelity, Grayscale filed for amendment to stake ETF is a clear sign we're going to be rich. I agree. Alex, how we doing? Brett Fam in the house. Dre says crypto is going up as we speak. I agree. Hitman, we got the Kurt family in the house. Senor Rojo says, I know these ETH swap fees are kicking my ass. Yeah, I mean, that was the big, that was the big issue with Ethereum last cycles because when Ethereum's really popping, I mean, people were paying $100 to swap $300 worth of meme coins last cycle. Like that's the issue with Ethereum sometimes. Now, obviously, since that time, Ethereum went to ETH 2.0 and it's supposed to make the fees cheaper over time. And it's never going to be as cheap as other networks. But you have to understand that no other network is like Ethereum, in my opinion. Like there's a reason why no other layer one has flipped Ethereum. It's because yes, it can be slow and clunky sometimes, but it never has any downtime. Like we've had downtime with Solana, we've had downtime with Base a little bit. We've had downtime with even Sui, right? Ethereum's super scalable. It's big, right? So it handles all that action and doesn't have any downtime. So it's reliable, it's scalable, it's decentralized, allegedly. So Ethereum is still the number one brand, but yeah, you're going to be paying out of your butt in fees probably when ETH goes crazy. We'll see, but they're definitely not as bad as last cycle. I have noticed that. And maybe it's because ETH is not being used as much, but it's definitely not as bad. What's up, Neko? Good morning. Good morning. Stays lit. Good morning. How we doing? Powell for the win. Yes, we love Powell now. So how can the space go from hating one man so crazy to loving him the next day, right? Every working normie can get a 401k account, can get into crypto without even knowing it. Yeah, that's the point I made about the 401k cryptos thing. Like, and people get mad. I've seen some people online saying, "Oh, you're scamming people out of their 401." Like 401k in general is a risk. Like you're investing in companies that could not work out. Like for example, when I used to work at Target back in the day when I was 18, they do a match up to 80% of your paycheck. They will match in your 401k. And usually that's in Target stock. Now, what if Target takes a dump? Like that's a risk, right? Obviously Target's a successful company, but maybe somebody would like the, option of passively investing into crypto or Bitcoin or whatever they offer through their 401k. Because to me, like that kind of passive investing is easier than getting it into your bank account and then having to take it out of your bank account, rather, you just getting it taken out of your bank account automatically during each paycheck, which would be nice, right? So I like that. I like people to have the option. It's your option. No one's going to force you to do anything. You have the option to. You don't have to put anything in your 401k, right? It's just the option, right? So it's like, what is it? Like 21 trillion, 12, some two number $trillion. I think it's $12 trillion like market, right? So pretty big. 3-day weekend for me as usual. Nice. What's up, Koktoshi Hashburn? How we doing? Jobs don't want to work. Rate cuts don't know. Jerome, speak English, motherfucker. 99% of people have no clue what he's talking about. Well, we get the vibe, right? So cutting rates, does that mean he won't be sued and fired? Well, he's not going to get. I think Trump's just saying things. He's not going to sue Jerome Powell. But yeah, if he does what Trump wants, he's not going to get fired. So. Just getting back. I'll be lurking. Thank you so much, Armand. Good to have you back, brother. Whale porn. What? Base will flip ETH in what? Because it's the same thing, right? So base ETH is ETH. You mean as on like for vol? No, never. Base will never. Base is a layer 2, bro. It's a layer 2 for Ethereum. And it'll never flip, ETH and like volume and those sorts of things. Base is backed by ETH. Well, Base is a layer 2. It's not backed by ETH. ETH gas isn't bad. You just have to let it cool as the price settles. ETH has high quality, so you pay for what you get. Yeah, and there's a place where you can go to check to see like how expensive ETH is when you're trading. It's called Gwei Tracker. Ethereum gas price tracker, and you can see what times of the day it's the worst. And it tells you like the average price for a swap right now. The low average is $13. The high is $15. NFT sales $23, $26. Right, bridging $4. And you can see, and of course, the average right here and the different day. It's like a heat map kind of deal, which is kind of all the same. But I guess if you want to optimize your trading, follow these. But at the same time, like sometimes, in crypto, you don't get the opportunity to wait for a specific time to buy. Like time is of the essence, right? So you can't wait till, a certain time to buy a crypto. And so I do get that. But this could help you too. What's up, F. Joe? How we doing? Welcome. Samuel said that's why I wait for a major pullback on celebrities and see if it's still grinding and bet on it. Yeah, we'll talk about celebrity tokens here in a second. But for Bitcoin, what I was saying is that it's likely that we're not going to break below this, right? We're not going to break below $112,000. Like I'm going to keep mentioning this, but September is historically not good for Bitcoin. This is the average, right? Average monthly performance. And then obviously we go crazy in October, which kind of lines up, right? So we probably won't break below 112. Right, we have two instances where it's been some support and a few instances where it's been resistance. Right now, our next piece of resistance is around $123,000. Now, if it starts going up to $123,000 ish, I would maybe expect for it to come back down. We'll see. But obviously, trending upwards. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or an expert trader to tell you that, right? But now's probably not a bad entry. So we'll see. Right? And this is the daily chart. This is not, trading by the hour, scalping or anything like that. Those sorts of things. All right. So I guess we could talk about celebrity tokens for a little bit. Obviously, Kanye West launched his token yesterday. So 13 wallets profited over $24 million from Kanye West's his celebrity token by alleging dumping the token. I mean, guys, there were obvious insiders, right? There were people in there who sniped the supply early. Like, how did they know about that? You know, they're not that lucky. I'm telling you, they're not that lucky. And if history repeats itself, if you look at all the celebrity tokens that ever launched, Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, 50 Cent, Iggy Azalea, Offset, Rich the Kid, Trippie Redd, Designer, Sway Lee, Jason Derulo, Doja Cat, Soulja Boy, all down 99 to 98%. Now, obviously, Kanye is kind of a meme and kind of goes with meme culture, I guess you could say, but they're not even trying to be a meme. They're trying to be like a retail store or something. Pretty much, in my opinion, it's just a bunch of guys who partnered with him to make lots of money. He made a lot of that money. Allegedly. That's what I think. I don't know. I'm just saying allegedly, but that's what I think, Let me go to some of these. Base will flip ETH in daily volume because of base pay. It will, pleb. No, it won't. No, it won't. How is the layer 2 going to flip ETH, the layer 1? I just don't think that's going to happen. Remember NFTs? I do remember NFTs. Also, right now it's pumping, so the fees are high right now. Yeah, absolutely. You'll get ate up so bad you'll be forced to learn. I agree. Stable volume on base will flip ETH when the e-world economy runs on base pay. The thing about that is but institutions are looking into RWAs on Ethereum. Like institutions are looking for Ethereum as like a network. So XRP and Sphinx are a must hold. What's up, Mr. Allen? I agree. I don't know what Sphinx is, but for sure our Phoenix, maybe. I think that's probably what it is. But XRP for sure. Pepperidge Farm remembers NFT. They did not make an NFT because it will power transactions like credit card or company or bank. Yeah, I mean, that's the point for Base. They want to bring the world on chain with payments and stuff like that, but Base is not flipping ETH in transaction volume. It's just not going to. I just don't think so. If it does, I mean, it does, but it won't. But, I get it. Hey, have your conviction, baby. But I just don't think so. All right, so celebrity tokens, moral of the story, do not buy them. I mean, you can. Here's the thing. Sometimes, right, in some of these, they'll have a massive pump and then they'll dump. And then they'll pump again. Only example I can really see out of this is Jason Derulo's and Iggy Azalea's, which are still down significantly. And Janet, yes, they did go to jail, but not for what we thought they would go to jail for. Not these guys, but Russ from Saitama and some of the team, Some of them will recover, but you never want to buy when it's pumping. You want to buy like now, when it's down. Would I buy? Absolutely not. No, stupid. Don't do it. But if you were, you want to wait till it bottoms out and maybe get a pump later or something like that. Because maybe one of these guys will actually at least try to pump their project, which means that they're going to be trying to, in my opinion, would they be trying to just siphon more liquidity slowly out of all the new buyers that are going to buy it. But you're smart, so you understand that if you're up a little bit or a 2x or a 3x, you should probably just take your money and get out of the casino. A lot of people that lose their money in these celebrity tokens, it's like no crying in the casino. Like I saw some guy lose $500,000 on this the other day, and he aped in right when peak ecstasy was happening, which means it was all over social media and those sorts of things. Like no crying in the casino. Just gotta, if you're gonna play the game and you get burned, well then you get burned. Right. So keep that in mind. What else do we have? Pennsylvania House introduces a new bill to ban public officials from trading Bitcoin and crypto while in office. That will not happen as long as Donald Trump is in office. I'll tell you that. CFTC launches crypto sprint initiative to advance President Trump's digital asset agenda. So when it comes to regulatory bodies, I think the CFTC may be the ones in charge of crypto. So obviously we're ready for clear crypto regulation, which we're going to get. Senator Cynthia Lummis said that we're probably going to have clear regulation by the end of the year. So that's going to be nice. That's all we want in the crypto space. So check this out. So this is a post from Dom Woods. Follow him. Go in the space. So the celebrity token era is officially over after Yeezy. In 24 hours since its launch, 14,000 wallets lost up to $500. 1,200 wallets lost up to $500 to 1K. 1,800 wallets lost 1K to $5,000. 429 lost 5K to 10K. 500 lost 10K to 100K. 64 lost 100K to 1 mil. One wallet lost 1 million plus. So it goes to show that not everyone's an insider, because, you know, if you're, I mean, losing $1 million on Kanye tokens kind of crazy, but you know, maybe this person has so much money that it doesn't even matter, you know. And if you guys could, if you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button, please. It's free to do. It helps. And if you're watching over on X, make sure to like the video and repost. It's free to do. It helps. I'd appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And I think we hit like an all-time high, at least recently, on the YouTube stream, which is nice. Thank you so much for all the people who are tapped in on YouTube today. Appreciate you guys. So, you know, back in the day when we used to stream, we used to get crazy numbers, but since we started streaming again, it's been a long, well, we've only been streaming for like 2-3 weeks. So there's that. But hey, it is what it is, right? But we do go live every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably do some evening streams and weekend streams here and there. Maybe like focus on meme coins, or just maybe we could do a stream where I learn technical analysis with you guys, like learn more, because I'm taking some classes, you could say. But yeah. Let me see. I didn't sell because they were always so convincing. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point in the that's a good point when it comes to like just meme coins in general. It's like, guys, first of all, doing technical analysis on meme coins is stupid because you just don't know. Like doing technical analysis on like a crypto like Kanye's is dumb, because one person can rug, or a few people can rug the entire chart, and you best believe that there's going to be insiders. You got to do technical analysis on like big cryptos like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, you know, XRP, Ethereum, like ones with lots of liquidity, and then huge market cap sizes, and one person can't wreck the entire chart, you know. So we're getting some, or just not as corny this week. What do you mean? Okay, there we go. The Saitama song was fired. I remember that. Yeah, smash the like button. Yeah, but when it comes to meme coins, guys, like, look, there's going to be a point in the season, and I know some people don't like meme coins, but there's an opportunity to make money there. There's going to be a point where there's going to be so many meme coins and small cap cryptos that are promising you the world. Stick to your plan, which is to make whatever much money you have and just exit, because most of the time, 99.99999, probably higher than that % of the time, it's just a rug. I mean, how many? There's like 50,000 tokens, or probably more, being created every single day. Every single day, you know? And how many top meme coins are there that stay in the same spot? Maybe like 6 or 7 that don't change, right? So just keep that in mind. That's a crazy small percentage. That's why it's a miracle when a meme coin hits $1 billion. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. So many things need to happen that's right. You know? It's a miracle. All right, what else do we have here? David Sachs was featured in the newest episode of South Park. So South Park going in on all the government officials. So David Sachs and his Bitcoin, which we love. We love David Sachs. Shout out to South Park. You know, that's pretty funny. Oh, so this is interesting. DOJ says it will not target developers that create decentralized crypto platforms without criminal intent. Now that's going to be interesting, because a lot of people say that this cycle crime is legal because everyone's making memes and no one's getting in trouble for it. But was there criminal intent? Which, if they find out there's a bunch of people that purposely made a meme coin or a token or any decentralized platform with the intention just to rug people, I mean, that's got to be criminal intent, right? Yeah, proving intent might be hard. And that's why I think a lot of these projects are going to come out with some sort of use case and say, hey, this is our utility. Like this, I mean, the price went down, but if there's proven inside trading, then, you know, it's going to be rough for them. It's going to be rough for them. Like this is what I mean. Like, check this out. Like it's all rigged, you know, it's all rigged. And if you know that, like, how lucky can this person be? Now check this out. So breaking, we have found the identity of the first buyer of Yeezy token, right? This is Bubble Maps. They do a good job at crypto investigation. It's the same trader who made $100 million on Trump. Expert sniper or insider? Somebody close to somebody, you know, this is one of the same traders that made $100 million on Trump. Like, is this guy lucky? And how did he get someone close to the Trump team? Because Trump promoted this token. You know, that's why people say is crime legal, because how can we go after a guy that was one of the first buyers for Yeezy, but was also one of the first buyers for Trump? And I would assume that he knows somebody, right? So Nassim first made headlines this year after turning $1 million into $100 million on Trump, right? So this guy went in $1.1 million on a Trump token. Like, who apes that hard? People that I know that trade on these decentralized platforms when they're aping in a random meme coin, think it was like 0.01, like 0.1 Solana or something like that. They never go $100 million, right? Like, you got to know, right? Yeezy was created on August 17th. All early transactions that followed came from the team wallet. The first real buy happened on August 21st when wallet, this is the wallet number, purchased 250K, right? We found strong on-chain links between that wallet and wallets previously tied to Nassim, including addresses that sniped both Libra and Trump. So Libra did some insane things too. Like, so somebody's on the inside and somebody knows what's up, right? Libra was that big, meme coin or token, not meme coin, that was associated with the president of Argentina. Remember that? Like, Trump, Libra, and Yeezy. Like, come on now, we're not stupid, And you're not aping 250K and 1 million. You're aping a small amount just in case you lose. Maybe a 1 million is small to them, right? Nassim already sold 800K from his original 250K purchase and still holds $600,000. He most likely used the other addresses as well. While Nassim's sniping skills are undeniable, this trade raises serious questions. How did he manage to be the very first on Yeezy? And how has he consistently sniped every major launch? Trump hawked to a token, right? And Libra. Is it pure skill or does he know something? Come on now. Yeah. And this guy says the best, Kirigo. If you're the first one buying into anything, there's no way you're dropping 250K. Like, there's just no way. Or 1.1 million, on Trump token. Come on now. This person, this is a contrary thing, I guess point. I don't like him either, but he has been doing this for at least 2 years already. Even with NFTs, he is always the first fucking buy on every hyped NFT mint or NFT token back in the day. You couldn't be this consistent only with insider information. Dude has skills and tech. I mean, if you're risking $1.1 million and 250K on things that may not even pan out consistently, like that's not believable. It's just not believable. Barron was the first buy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I actually like, obviously, I'm a huge fan of like Eric Trump. Eric Trump is super knowledgeable when it comes to crypto. He says he spends half of his time, and a man that busy spends half of his time in crypto. So that's pretty interesting, right? That's pretty cool. So this was just in $250 million worth of cryptocurrency shorts liquidated in the past 4 hours. Now, what's interesting is that as I've been learning like some TA, and I was thinking to myself, like, if you're shorting the market, right? People were shorting the market right here. Because ignore like this green, let me pull this up a little bit. Ignore like this large green candle we got from the news today, right? This is the green candle we got from Jerome Powell news. If you're looking at this chart, man, like shorting is, I guess it could go either way. It depended what Jerome Powell said, but I still think that even if Jerome Powell said something negative, we probably wouldn't have broke to the downside that much. Just because we have so much history with resistance here, which became our new support, around $112,000. I'm not sure if we did, it wouldn't have been that long. Just in my opinion. And we're still ripping, dude. We're still ripping. So it's going to be interesting to see how September looks. Maybe this is like the first September that we're bullish. Probably not, right? Because what is technical analysis? I've been learning, guys. I have a bunch of textbook definitions. We're just trying to form future opinions based on previous trends. That's it. Right? So September is probably going to be slow for crypto. Just some sideways trading action. That's probably going to be the best thing for a lot of people, man. There it is. If you're just a regular person, maybe day trader, swing trader, not maybe not a day trader, but like swing trader, something like that, where, you're not on the computer all the time, but most of the time, it'll give you the opportunity to buy in, and I still think we're probably going to go higher. We'll see. I don't know. Cause then you could say like maybe right here, even though we broke above it, right? But I would say that this is the, new resistance, right? Because we did have a wick right here back on, July 25th to around $123,000. So it's going to be interesting. Did you order the plaid? I did. Oh yeah. I got I'm getting the Tesla plaid. I'm not getting a Camaro or Corvette. Not getting a Corvette. I'm getting the new plaid, baby. Wait, is that Mike? Is that who I think it is? You mean the upside down frowny faces and Christmas tree colors? Yeah, I know, right? They expected him to be hawkish. I think they did. Yeah, the news was conflating leading up to his leading up to this AM. Some said rate cuts. The others were saying he would only be led by the data and not pressure from Trump and Wall Street. Well, you could say that he was led by the data because the jobs were so bad. So because he's out, I think what he's doing is he's kind of outweighing the risks, right? Because we had bad inflation PPI data, but then we also had bad job numbers, and he thinks that that's a bigger issue, and then have to. And he didn't say anything for sure, but it sounds like for sure. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people probably were bearish because we saw that percentage, the odds of us getting a rate cut slowly go down. Appreciate you, Mike. Is that Mike? Is that the Mike who I think it is? Is that Mr. Farley? What's up, Bree? How we doing? But I lease my cars. I like to get a new car every 3 years. I know people don't like leasing, but when you have commitment issues, leasing's not so bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just not so bad. Just not so bad. Let's do some technical analysis on XRP, right? Let's try our hand at it a little bit, right? I need to get all my indicators up and shit. I need to get all that done, right? Oh, this is market cap. How do we go to? How do I go from price to market cap here? I guess market cap's fine. Let me see how to unfuck this. Let me see XRP. All right. Let's see. How do I unfuck that? Still a noob here, but how come everyone else has the price, but XRP has the market cap size? Yeah, bro. What's up, Mike? How we doing, baby? It's good to have you here, man. Good for you to come hang out. A lot of big news happening in the cryptocurrency space today. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Commitment issues. Yeah, a little lease. My boy just got a new car, but I love Teslas. I think it's a fantastic car. Like I'm telling you, man. Sometimes I don't want. I know it's a lot of cars are self-driving, but I think it's such a good vehicle. And like. Honestly, with the lease, it's perfect because I didn't have to do anything but rotate my tires. And when the windshield wiper fluids got low, then I had to, replace that. That's it, right? Okay, thank you. Why is it only giving me? Why is this giving me May though? I guess this is fine, but why is it not giving me the rest of the history? Thank you so much. I appreciate that, bud. Okay, there it is. I just had to refresh it. Oh no, this is Bitcoin again. Will Trump's speech have an impact? Peter, it could. We don't know what he's going to say. But the thing about Trump, I don't think he's going to say anything that's going to be bearish, right? I don't think he's probably going to be like, he's probably going to most likely come out and, I don't know, be like, yeah, pal, you should have, yeah, I'm glad he decided to, change his stance on something and those sort of, he's still going to be encouraging Powell to cut interest rates, but I don't know. I don't know what he could be talking about. I don't know. He said it's going to be some big news. I don't know what's going on. Maybe geopolitical news, but probably not. But it's interesting that he scheduled a press conference 2 hours after Jerome Powell went up. It's kind of like, hey, give me what I want or I'm going to come out and go after you, So Trump's speech could definitely have an impact on what's going to happen. Definitely could impact what's going to happen. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay. I guess we can look at. So we're actually trending down for XRP, right? We're actually trending down. I mean, in the short term, right? Because I guess yeah, we are kind of trending down a little bit. I mean, yeah, in the short term, you could just say we are trending down a little bit. So obviously, higher lows, lower highs, right? Which I'm sure not a lot of people wanted to hear. Okay, so where are we at with XRP? Obviously, like the entire crypto market does move together. But here's the thing with XRP, though. I do want to say this because the news matters too. What's going on with the project matters too, right? Like when you look at something with a project on whether or not it's going to go up or why is it going up or down, it's like a few different reasons. Like one, is there anything technically wrong with the project, right? Something happened where it just broke. Like maybe Solana went offline or something, and people panic sold because the function of the project or the thing, is bad or didn't work or broken, right? The second thing is there any negative publicity, right? Because the example I always use is when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan and smoked some weed and Tesla stock dumped. This happened years ago, but like there's nothing wrong with Tesla. It's just their CEO was on Joe Rogan smoking weed, which I don't care, but some people care and they sold Tesla stock because they thought that was negative publicity. And the third thing is the market moving downwards? And usually if that happens, then everything else moves with it, right? So this is kind of weird though, because I guess you could say right here, like this is like kind of the support. So maybe $2.80-ish right around here. So $2.70, 80 cents right here could be a little bit of support. And I wouldn't say there's any clear resistance, but obviously we hit, all-time high levels back here in July, which like, I think everything was pumping at that range right there. But remember, the big thing with XRP that we got recently, and this is why we saw this massive green candle, right, was because we got an update that the SEC and XRP, they're done, right? The whole lawsuit's done. They're hashing out like a couple of grown-ups, right? So that's big news that happened within the project. So XRP has the opportunity to grow, because if you're just zooming out, right, like since the beginning of time, which it does not show me the rest of the chart. Like XRP hit an all-time high in 2018. And that was the last time it hit you know what I mean? Before recently. So there's some news within, XRP could be the reason why it's been capped. But we can see that we have some support that we've tested twice recently around $2.08. And we've had some resistance that, you could say like, because this is old support and new resistance around $3.38. So maybe what we can be looking forward to is to see when it pumps, if it can pump back up to that price, about $3.38, and form new support right here again, right? But it is trending down. So there's that. Like unlike Bitcoin, that's trending up. Let me see. You get used to seeing lights and screens when you start a Tesla and can quietly be passed. Dude, the Tesla Plaid is the fastest car in the market right now. It's just fat. And I just like Teslas. I drive like a grandpa anyways. I usually drive just the speed limit, but I do like the Teslas. I think the Plaids look sharp. And they're not noisy. I just like Teslas. I'm gonna support Elon. I'm a Tesla guy. I'm gonna support Elon Musk. And I think they're great cars. I've had mine for 3 years, like zero issues. I know some people have issues, quality control issues, but I didn't get a Cybertruck. I guess there were some quality issues with that. I had a Model 3 Performance 2023, and my lease is ending here soon. I was like, you know what? Hey, another 3-year lease. There's like no maintenance. Who knows? Maybe there will be an issue with this car. Maybe I won't get so lucky. But the only things that happened to my car were my problem, my fault, like running over a big pot. Well, it wasn't that big, but it was a pretty big pothole. I have like low profile tires, and it blew up my old tire. And I had to replace the tire, but that's about it, man. Like everything's covered under warranty, under 3 years. So I almost drive this speed limit too, Rodney, just 5 miles per hour tops, but 0 to the speed limit, but 0 to the speed limit fast. Yeah, I'll launch quick, but I don't have any moving violations. To me, like even if you look on like, I was watching some sort of like video where it talked about like how speeding like 5 to 10 to even like 20 miles per hour fast someone like to get to work. If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, you do not save, like it's negligible the amount of time. What I like to see is that someone like, I don't like to see it, but like sometimes when someone will cut me off in traffic and then we'll both end up at the same red light. They're so impatient they have to cut me off, but we end up at we both end up at the same red light. So what up, Iron Lex Trader? How we doing? You could say that maybe we're in a downtrend and we're starting to see a reversal here because we did hit this, this support level twice, and maybe this could be a reversal. So we could be in a reversal, right? We were trending down, but we did hit the support twice because we didn't close below it. I mean, we'll see what's up at the end of the day, but we didn't close below this last support, the lowest, you could say, support level we had. So we could be, have some sort of reversal. So you could say that. But if we're looking at the highs, we are trending down. It's just the lows are starting to even out. I'm staring at the horizon with 100s of windmills and none are turning. Really? What part? I remember driving through California and seeing that happen one time. What else do we have in the chats? My biggest problem with Tesla is you don't get turbo noises and that super dank illegal smell from fuel from your catless downpipes. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of my neighbors have I have probably the cheapest car in my lot. I'm not even kidding. There's a few SUVs, but everyone has Lambos and Ferraris and G-Wagons and they're so fucking loud, dude. They're so loud. I have a parking garage. It's just loud. I kind of don't like that, bro. I mean, back in the day, bro, my second car or third car, but it was my first project car was a 89 CRX. I did a suspension swap. I did an engine swap. I put a Integra LS VTEC engine, Honda Integra LS VTEC engine in that car. Swapped out the transmission from cable to hydraulic. And so I had 200 something horsepower in a very, very small car. So, of course the exhaust sounded like shit, like a little rice can, like a ricer. And I kind of like the quiet now. I'm an old man, sometimes I like to just speed a little bit, but if you're a speeder, you're definitely going to get caught. It's never enough where, I'm going to get pulled over and get a ticket for it, so. All right, sorry, reading some text messages. What else we have here? What's up, Pepe? How we doing? So XRP guys, we could be having a reversal here, right? Because we could be creating some higher lows here. I mean, barely, but it could be. It could be a little bit of a uptrend, but we'll see. What do they call? Do they call us a bull flag when it does this? I'm still learning that, so we'll see. We'll get as the days go on, you're gonna get more information. Yo, I heard they dropped XRP case more times than I heard China bans crypto. No, they actually did, Darby. 1,000%, actually 100% did. Okay, this happened a week ago or something like that, maybe a couple weeks ago now. Forget the time in crypto just flies by sometimes. Didn't figure to be the Honda tech guy. That means we're family. Let's go. Those were the days, man. Yeah, no, but dude, I used to spend all my money on my little CRX, bro. Had some custom, I forgot what kind of JDM wheels they were, but they were ugly. In hindsight, they were ugly, but they were just painted white. They were sick. It was a light blue CRX, lowered a little bit. Had some K Sport suspension. Definitely not a safe car. No power steering, which is stupid. No AC, which was dumb. I mean, I didn't do the engine swap or anything. Of course I got that done, but I could do all the basic things for a car. I haven't had to in a few years, but I can do everything basic for a car: brakes, oil, basic things. Transmission, I've done that before. I've done all sorts of little things that I didn't have to go to a mechanic for. And usually it's because I didn't have any money for a mechanic. Not because I wanted to do it. It's because I was broke. I remember there was a point in time where I was younger and I kind of went through some financial issues, and I ended up buying a Kia Spectra from a dealership, which was the worst buy ever with a bad interest rate. But as soon as I left the lot, a day later, check engine light goes on for a catalytic converter. Right there, that's already worth more than the car for that car. And then the transmission, it just cracked. One night it just cracked. And I just watched a YouTube video and put a new transmission in there. Cost me $150, where the whole transmission to get worked on was almost $1,000. It's crazy. I mean, not transmission. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. I've never done a transmission. I'm lying about that. It's where you put the coolant. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot the name of it. But thank you. Did I say radiator? Yeah, radiator. Radiator cracked. You know, the plastic pipe that run across the front just boom, exploded. And one day I was tripping out because, you know, when it hits the engine, smoke goes up. So I remember I was driving with some chick at the time, and we were getting burritos, and we're driving home. And luckily I was almost home. And boom. And then of course, antifreeze gets everywhere. And then it gets on my engine and the smoke goes crazy. So I'm freaking out. I get there and I noticed that just the radiator is cracked. And so I was like, I got a quote, way too much. I'm poor. So I ordered on eBay at the time. You could order. I remember ordering parts in California, especially exhaust parts. They ship to 49 states, not California. But I ordered a radiator, and it wasn't that hard. It wasn't that hard. It was kind of it took some trial and error, but you are officially more awesome as of today, bro. Kids today will never understand what you're talking about. Oh, dude, yeah, I can do everything. I had a Mustang, a V6 Mustang, manual transmission. Most of my cars are manual before the Tesla, and I do everything on that thing. Dude, a V6 Mustang, the manual ones are such good cars. It was 2015. The only thing I had to do was replace the clutch. I got it used. But I did my brakes on that. Like I learned how to do the brakes. And I remember the biggest thing when I was doing the brakes for the Mustang, because I've done brakes for the Hondas before, is that when you're decompressing the brakes, like for the Mustang, you have to have a brake tool, but it has to like lock in and like spin. It was weird. I was stuck on that for like an hour, bro. It was weird. But yeah, I rebuilt a Honda too. So yeah, I mean, that's why they're the easiest cars. That's why people love like Japanese cars, because they're easy to work with. Like when I lived in Portland for a little bit, I got a VW GTI. I had it for like eight months or so, and I remember things were just breaking down on that thing, and it was just so expensive to get fixed. I couldn't even get to any parts. Oh yeah, your first radiator replacement was the VW Bug. I'm not sure how that looks, but I know that at least for the GTI, it was a pain in the ass to find. 6 cylinders is a lady's car. Okay, Roy. The crap you do growing up in our era, now ask a kid born in 2000s and up if they can change a tire. The thing is, like, okay, changing a tire is always going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, always going to be relevant. But like oil changes and shit like that, like, to be honest, some places, I think a lot of places that offer oil changes actually lose money on them. That's why they always try to sell you like an air filter or some shit, because it's actually not as expensive. It's actually not as expensive as you think to get your oil changed. Like you can change it yourself if you're like a stickler about it, because there are places that'll charge you for like an oil filter or something, and then you won't get a new oil filter. Like my ex-girlfriend's car, she had a Kia Soul, and easiest car to work on. But I did the oil change for her car after I met her, and she showed me because she was meticulous about like writing down when she needed an oil change. And then I saw that the oil, they didn't even give her a new oil filter. Like they'll leave it on there. Like every time you do an oil change, you should get a new oil filter on there. Like some places will just like, either they're lazy or they're trying to stiff you or whatever. But it is cheap. It's just like, it's cost effective to just go get it done by someone, and it'll probably save you a bunch of time depending on the timing, because you got to jack your, I mean, first you need to have the tools to do it. Jack your car up. You could put it on jack stands, but you could just put some blocks behind your rear wheels and jack up the car. Yep. Have an oil pan. You have to recycle the oil. You're supposed to recycle the oil. I always change the lug and gasket every time, you do an oil change. I mean, you don't have to, or at least the gasket, oil filter. It just get messy. Like it's a pain in the ass sometimes, and you need to have the tools and stuff like that. And you need to know what you're doing. Some people put like the wrong oil in their car, which is not a huge deal. It's a huge deal over time, but not if you do it like one off, but it's kind of crazy. You mean just don't give the oil back to the earth? No, no, you got to go to AutoZone. The cool thing is like you can borrow a lot of tools from like AutoZone though. That's a cool thing. Let's see how the market's doing over the last hour. Yeah, we're ripping, guys. We're ripping. Bugs were air cooled. Okay, it's not a thing in the Bug. Wait, what? Oh, really? I'm not too sure about older cars. That's why I like old Jeeps I used to drive. So easy to work on. Tons of room. You can get to everything. Yeah, tons of room is a big deal. People buy their own oil and filter and I change it for 15 bucks on the side. Dude, that's awesome, dude. If you have the tools, PRJ, you can knock that shit out so quick, bro. 15 bucks. I mean, that would charge like 30. Why not? Because it's going to take some time, right? You got to be pretty fat to have a car, to jack a car up for an oil change. I mean, unless your car is low, it depends what kind of car you got. Some people got some low ass cars, bro. Who's the biggest gainers today? All right, see, who are the biggest gainers today? We can see the trending. I mean, it depends on what like category you're looking at, but we have some trending here. Bio token, Matt, Arrow, SWI, and SK. I don't know what SKL is or Matt or Bio, but Arrow is obviously the number one decentralized exchange for base, and SWI is SWI. So, hey, Trump token's pumping. Yeah, I just try to look out for folks. It doesn't take long. That's awesome, man. Hey, come with your own stuff. If you're not sure which oil to use, avocado oil, olive oil. My first BMW is a 1/2 inch off the ground. Literally can't drive it anywhere. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but the basic stuff, maintenance is easy. It's just like, do you want to do it? Do you have the time to do it? And like, because it can be dangerous too. Like if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it can be dangerous. I've obviously messed up a lot when I was a wee lad. So you can mess it up. You can't. I take my oil to Diddy. AutoZone employees have nice whips. Sometimes they know to take care of their cars, right? But I think the AutoZone is so great because you can get a bunch of free stuff there. If you have a code pop up, they'll go and give you the read for cheap. That's why it's always good, like especially when you get a code. Even though I think a lot of mechanics are pretty like they're not as shady as maybe they used to be, because like reviews are a real thing, and if you try to scam somebody, the word will get out. But like for example, I forgot what the code was, but for my ex Kia Spectra, like our check engine light went on, and I just went to AutoZone real quick. And it turned out that for some reason, the gas cap needed to be replaced. Maybe the seal on it wasn't, catching anymore or something like that, or wasn't completely sealing off, something easy like that. And a couple bucks at AutoZone and just replace it yourself. My buddy tried to change his own oil and drain the transmission fluid instead his first time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's see Lofi. Yeah, Lofi's probably ripping. Yeah, 6%. Not bad. 20 mil market cap. I think Lofi's going to make an insane recovery. Yeah, you could mess up, right? Changing the spring on my car sucks. Yeah, you got to get the tool to compress them. I didn't do that. I never did that. I didn't do my suspension. I had no involvement with the transmission change. None of that. I'm not doing that stuff because I don't have a lift or anything. Like you just knew people, you had connections that could do it for a better price. Like it's still going to be expensive, but that stuff, like I'm not messing with suspension. Like I'm not going to take all that shit off and compress the spring, which I'm scared of, because if that thing comes out, you're dead, but I'm sure if you know what you're doing, you're good, but I mean, even brakes, like I think brakes are hard to mess up if you're going step by step, but you can mess it up. Right. TN suspension. Yeah, that was one. I had K-Sport. TN was a popular. TN and K-Sport were popular for JDM cars. I mean, a lot of new cars are pretty complicated. Yeah, I know. My car has like 4 water pumps and some shit, and accessing the whole coolant system requires you to disassemble half the car. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if they make it harder on purpose, but like even for like the Tesla, right? Like the they talk about semiconductors, like chips and stuff, and how they're important. No. Suspension is easy to adjust because you just literally got to reach in and do the clicks, right? But like changing them out, like, because to change them, at least you need to make sure, like, to put them back on, you need to compress them with a tool, which is, you can borrow any tool from AutoZone. It's like a flat fee, and like you give them like your ID or something, and you just borrow the tool or something like that, or like deposit. I forgot what it was. Just like Home Depot. Yeah, adjusting is easy. You just know how many clicks, which is usually like 15 clicks, something like that, and you can change like the damper, right? But yeah, anyways, the Tesla, for each door, it has like 4 chips in each door. Like that's why chips are so important. Like you see with what's the big company? I can't even remember the big company off the top of my head. NVIDIA is so like popular. I love Home Depot. You know what? The last DIY I tried to do. So mounting a TV is not hard. I have every tool known to man, at least for like household stuff. Mounting a TV is not hard. I underestimate. So I'm in like a newer apartment and things are just different. Like every place I've ever lived in, it's easy to mount a TV. You need a few things: stud finder, a leveler, obviously the some sort of drill. And pretty much that's it, right? And but what I didn't know is that in these new apartments, the beams are deep in the wall, right? And the screws they give you with the TV, they can't go through like they're because usually they give you like some sort of like mounting set with they give you some sort of screws with the set you buy to mount the TV, whatever that mount is. But I had to get a professional to do it. And they cut a hole in the wall. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, they cut a hole in the wall and put the wires in the back. Like, I got it professionally done. And it's like $500. It's like, it's worth it, especially if you're like in a place that you don't own and you don't want to fuck it up, I get a lot of ST coilovers, X drive monster trucks kind of status. I just don't want this one to sit half an inch off the ground like the other BMWs. Yeah. The fuck, it isn't hard. I tried to get a ceiling mount for a drop-down TV. Might have to do a skylight. No, mounting a if you're doing a ceiling mount, yeah, I've done wall mounts, just wall mount. I remember the first time I mounted a TV, I wasn't paying attention to anything. This was when I was like, I don't know, 20, and I just put it in the drywall. I didn't find a beam or anything. The TV didn't fall all the way out of the wall, but it started coming out. And then I looked on YouTube a little more. Why won't Pepe just set me free already? I need to see it at the $15 to $20 billion floor. ETH is sending, and Pepe just won't join the party. The meme coins lag, right? All right, let's do some technical analysis. Can we do some technical analysis on Pepe? Oh yeah, let's see. Let's do some technical analysis on Pepe, shall we? All right, we're getting a little. I guess we'll go from the last all-time high, which is like $11 billion market cap size, right? Yeah, about $11 billion market cap size. Okay, so where are we seeing some resistance for Pepe? Because this, I mean, I would say this is trading sideways. It's kind of hard to see. You could say it's trending down, but like not really, because it seems like we're creating higher lows. But it looks like, I mean, we have a fair bit of resistance, like clear resistance, you can say, right around 4 zeros. How do I change this to market cap? Is there like a way I can change this to market cap here? Because I usually, with meme coins like this, I don't usually go to price. I just go to market cap size. Anyways, we have some, you could say we have some resistance right here at 4 zeros. Is that 4 zeros? 4014. Or you said head and shoulders, knees and toes. Yeah, and you could say it's trending down right here, but we still haven't, like, at least when we tested on August 5th, which was right around like right after Ethereum started to pump and Bitcoin started to pump, right? We had some resistance, or so we saw some support at 4 zeros. 104. Dude, these fucking meme coin prices are so retarded sometimes. So maybe what we can be looking for, because look, we have a big green candle like the rest of the market, right? Not everything looks the same, right? Is to see if we can break above, because we do have a lot of previous resistance over here, you could say, or resistance and support here, you could say. Some good information. We can break above 4 zeros 1 2 and maybe move to the next level at 4 zeros 1 4 ish, right? Because that's where all the resistance is right here, at least for this time frame. And we can stay above. But if we break below, maybe if we dump or something like that, maybe I just think, like, especially with meme coins, guys, like, it's gonna follow Ethereum. If Pepe is gonna follow Ethereum, right? So just have some hope right there. Now, obviously, you could say it followed Ethereum, because remember, Ethereum hit $4,000 back on December 5th. And this is right around when Pepe started to rip. This is $11 billion market cap size. And then, obviously Ethereum went down, Pepe went down, and it still hasn't got up there. But dude, Pepe's still a top meme coin. And it's still the third largest meme coin in the space. Where's the meme category? Did they change the meme coin? It's the third largest meme coin in the space. Ethereum hit all-time high just now? No way, bro. Well, let's go to TradingView. Ethereum all-time high is 49. Oh, this is the day. Let me go. Let's go hour. Let's go 5 minute. Hold on. No, so Ethereum all-time high is 48.9. Right? No, not all-time high, but it's pumping, it's ripping, it's going to get there. So what we could see, guys, too, for Ethereum, right? Remember, we do have some resistance. We'll go to day. Right around all-time high levels. So keep that in mind, right? We did get some resistance here on August 12th, August 13th, right? So maybe we can break above this and find some support here. So big day for Ethereum. We'll see. Now, like I said before, guys, crypto is boring in September. Or maybe we'll see Bitcoin dirtle and then maybe the rest of the altcoins do something good. And we'll see. But it's going to be interesting. But guys, that's the stream for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Do me a favor, smash the like button before you take off. Subscribe to the channel if you like being here. We're going to get better with technical analysis as time moves on. You know, as time goes on. I'll definitely keep you guys filled in on all the news. It is Friday, so I may not be streaming. I might stream tomorrow just for the fucking culture, right? I might just stream tomorrow in the morning for the culture. And real quick, the market is ripping because Jerome Powell is sounding dovish, which means we're going to lower interest rates probably in September. We want rate cuts. So that's why. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you guys. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Crypto's crazy sometimes. I know some of you guys like to be on your phone all the time, you know, but sometimes it's cool to get outside, touch some grass or touch some ass, whatever you're into. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I'll see you Monday or maybe tomorrow.